Becoming a parent can be hard and exciting and overwhelming and all the things. When you step into a baby product store and they hand you this whole pamphlet of all the things that you need to add to your registry, it's literally mind-blowing. I remember that moment and I was like, there is no possible way that I need pages and pages and pages and pages of things. I ended up only adding like the very minimum amount of things that I actually needed for my baby. So let's talk today about all the things you actually need for your baby. And I'm narrowing it down to only 10 things. Yesterday, I went to Target and we went through all the aisles together and looked through all the different things that you need. So you're gonna see some of that footage in this video, and you're also going to see me in the car in a different outfit talking about things that you actually need as a parent. Going to Target, and I completely forgot that my gas is like completely on empty. We're gonna go to the gas station first, and then let's head to Target. Okay, truth be told, I'm really not in the mood to go walk around Target. Does that happen very often? I don't know, but I was here yesterday, so I really don't feel like doing this right now. But for you, I will. Before we even go in though, I have written down some things that are important to look for and other things that are not important to look for. So I am categorizing 3 categories of things that you need for your baby. So category number 1 is going to be health. Those are the things that obviously have to do with your child being healthy. Number 2 is their basic needs, their wellness. Just these are their basic needs. And then number 3 is going to be functionality. Now you don't need all the bells and whistles, and so today I'm really just going to focus on those really important things that you need and more of like a minimalistic parenting approach, because I just don't believe in all of the crazy marketing schemes that these companies pull, saying like you need this, you need that, you need to spend all the money and get all these fancy things, because you truly do not. Let's start with the category of health, the most important thing for your baby. Now, the first thing that I'm going to talk about today is diapers. There are so many diapers on the market, and there are so many, not only so many brands, but different styles of diapers that you can use. It's kind of insane how many different ways you can catch your kids pee and poop, but you can do disposable diapers or reusable cloth diapers. I was forgetting the name of them, cloth diapers. I actually considered using cloth diapers with my kids because I knew I wanted a lot of kids and I knew diapers were going to be a huge cost. But when it came down to it, I really just decided to use disposable diapers because I just wanted the ease of it. I know it's not the best thing for the environment, but that's what I did. Now, of course, if you're using diapers, you're going to need wipes. Again, there are so many different kinds of wipes out there, whether you're using wipes for sensitive skin, just plain old water wipes, or if you're going to DIY something on your own, it's definitely something that you need to think about before you have your baby. It's definitely something that you want to think about and do some research on before you make a decision or add anything to your registry, knowing that people are going to be buying these things for you, especially if you are very concerned about ingredients being used, especially on your child's skin, that can be absorbed into their bloodstream. In addition to the diapers and wipes, you want to make sure that you have your top picks on diaper creams. It is inevitable that your baby is going to get a rash at some point, and you're going to want to have a couple different things on hand. So I know that some people have like their tried and true #1 favorite brand of diaper cream, but you want to make sure that you have a couple different options, because there may be something that your child has a bad reaction to. You don't want to be left with absolutely nothing. So do some research and choose a couple different kinds of diaper creams that you want to use for your child. The next category that I wanted to talk to when it comes to health is a feeding system. So whatever feeding system you're going to use, you're going to need some supplies. If you are breastfeeding, you are probably going to at least need a manual pump to release the pressure if your baby, well, not if, but when your baby starts sleeping through the night and they're not waking for those inevitable feedings anymore, you may wake up still engorged and you are going to want to manually release some of that pressure. You don't need to do a full pump because your body will adjust. That is a topic for a lactation consultant, but something to keep in mind, you at least want a manual pump. If you are going to use any other breast pumps, you want to check those out now. Now is a great time to do some research on what you want, but pro tip with your breast pump, your insurance company should cover one full cost breast pump. So talk to your OBGYN if you have one before you make a selection on that. Also, if you're breastfeeding, you are still going to want bottles. So do some research on the different types of bottles that are out there, get some of those. And also you're going to need some storage bags for your breast milk because it will be a wonderful thing if you can pump and create a stash in the freezer. I had an incredible freezer stash when I was nursing Kaya, who is my middle, and I had so much milk for that child. Yay. Go me. But also with my oldest, breastfeeding didn't work for us and I did not have formula on hand. When I realized that he wasn't getting the food that he needed to satiate his hunger, I kind of freaked out because I didn't have formula on hand and I didn't know anything about formula. I ended up trying a couple different kinds, but the thing that really helped was just having those pre-packaged, already made, like ready, just shake them up and feed them to the baby formulas. You can get them at the store and you can also ask your pediatrician for different samples or if they have a recommendation for formula. I know that I was definitely planning on breastfeeding for as long as possible, but when it doesn't work and that's okay. Or if you just decide that it's not for you and you don't want to breastfeed your kid and you just want to use formula, do your research and choose a couple different ones because again, your child may have a reaction to one kind and do well on a different kind, and that did happen for us. We ended up having to go with a gentle kind of formula for him because he was born a little bit early and his digestive system was not fully developed. So just something to keep in mind, but let's keep moving on. Now, another thing that you're going to want if you are breastfeeding is nipple cream. It's gonna hurt the first couple days. And as your hormones change, if you decide to do some extended breastfeeding, as your hormones change and the baby changes and the acidity, I know this sounds like totally crazy, but the acidity in your child's saliva will change and that will affect your nipples. So get some nipple cream and it's definitely going to come in handy those first couple days and weeks of breastfeeding, but it's also gonna come in handy. For me, it was always around like that 8-9 month mark and like things just changed and like everything hurt again. So I ended up having nipple cream on hand for a long time. The next thing in the health category that you want to make sure that you have is a thermometer and whatever medication is necessary for your baby's age and stage of development. Now, of course, as newborn babies, you're not going to be giving them medications at home, and if they need anything or they have a fever, you have to go to the emergency room or to their primary care doctor. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't things that you still need. So you need to have a thermometer, you should have some saline spray and a nose sucker. You can either use the one that they give you at the hospital, which is what I always use because I am not sucking snot out of my kid's nose. Like, I know that some people swear by the nose Frida, but that is just not my jam and I'm not gonna do that. But if it is for you, then more power to you. Go ahead and suck the snot out of your kid's face. So make sure that you have different things like a thermometer and the saline spray, a nose Frida if you want one, any kind of bulb sucker to get the snot out, and a humidifier. So those are always good things to have on hand. I've talked about this in several videos before about what to do when your baby gets sick, but make sure that you have these things on hand before your child gets sick and not at 2 a.m. having to run to whatever 24-hour store you can find because you have nothing at home. So make sure that you have things on hand before your baby is even born because you're gonna need it. Moving on to general wellness and basic needs for your baby. You wanna make sure that you are setting the perfect environment for your baby to sleep. Obviously, sleep is something that I'm very passionate about as a sleep consultant, but you want to make sure that you are replicating the womb. You need to have a good swaddle, you need to have white noise, and you need to have blackout shades for your baby. Those are just the top 3 things that you need to have for their basic sleep needs. Of course, you're gonna need clothes, but you don't have to go crazy. You're gonna get so many clothes from friends and family, and you're gonna go through a lot of clothes, but your baby doesn't need a million different outfits because they're literally gonna grow so fast. I know that when you find out you're pregnant and you see all of the super cute clothes at the store, you wanna just like get everything and have everything and just like put your baby wearing everything, but if it's not functional, you don't need to do it. Newborn babies don't need shoes, guys. They don't need cute little Nikes. It's adorable, but unnecessary. Another basic need that you literally will not be able to leave the hospital unless the doctors and nurses see that you have one is a car seat. It has to be a proper car seat that is newish, not expired, and they will make sure that your baby is strapped in there correctly. That was one of my bigger fears, was what if I don't strap the baby into this properly, or like I was just scared. Like, I don't know why I was scared of putting my kid in a car seat, but when I first became a mom, that was like, he was so tiny that I was like, how? Like, it's just, it seems crazy, but like, it's just, it is what it is. Now, with all of those things being said, let's just talk quickly through things that are going to help with your functionality and just having smoother days. Now, of course, with a car seat, you're going to want a stroller. You don't need to have all the bells and whistles, but if you do have a stroller that is one of the kinds that like snaps, it's like a whole stroller system that snaps the car seat into the stroller, then you don't have to always take your kid out of the car seat to go for a stroller walk. We did this all the time when we went for walks, or if we went to the beach or the zoo or the park or anywhere just to go for a walk that is beyond our neighborhood. And if the baby was sleeping, then we could just take him out of the car in the car seat and just pop it into our stroller system. That is always a very functional thing to get. Another thing you want to consider is how you want to bathe your baby. So take a look at all the different baby baths that are out there and just kind of pick one that is functional for you. Again, doesn't have to have all the bells and whistles, but if it works for you, then it works for your baby. You also want to make sure that you have a high chair for when your baby is sitting up and starting to eat solids. Now, this is definitely something that I would say is a must-have because your baby has to eat, and as they get bigger and older, you're going to need a good functional high chair. You don't have to go with the cutest one. You need to go with one that is going to fit into your space. Style really doesn't matter. I know that some people are gonna be like, you're crazy, I'm not putting some ugly high chair in my kitchen. Let's go function over fashion, please. Okay, and then the next thing I wanted to talk about was a baby carrier. This is another thing where you don't have to go spend hundreds of dollars to get a good baby carrier. I'm pretty sure my baby carrier was probably like $20 to $30, and I tried a lot of them. When you have several children, you want to try different brands, different things. You want to make sure that you actually have a carrier that may support your back, because you're going to be carrying your baby on your chest. You want something that is going to counteract the weight that you're carrying in the front with some sort of back support. But the one thing that I highly recommend is going to the store and trying out different brands, fabrics, and something that's going to feel good for you and that you think your baby will be comfortable wearing. And sometimes you try something and you decide that you don't love it, so then you end up trying something else, and that's fine too. You can always put different baby carriers on your baby registry and just kind of test the waters and see what you like and what works best for you. So there you have it. We talked about all the things that your baby needs to cover their health, their basic needs, and the functionality of just becoming a parent. All the products talked about in this video will be linked in the description box down below. You can also check out my Amazon store if you wanted to. Just share the link with anybody that you know who is expecting a baby. I've been around the block 3 times with 3 babies, and I know that products change, but babies' basic needs don't change. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you are an expecting parent, I would love for you to check out my newborn course called Baby in Bloom, which is Mama's Guide to the 4th Trimester. That is something that your OBGYN is probably not talking to you about very much. They're not gonna give you a manual in the hospital about what to do when you take home your baby, so I have that covered for you. Check out the link in the description box down below, grab Baby in Bloom, and keep blooming. Mwah.